Hello all. So in the last few sessions we were talking about what machine learning, what AI was all about, and then one subfield of AI which was machine learning, and how does machine learning is different from deep learning, and we have seen what are the applications of machine learning, what in what way machine learning helps us, right? So today in this session I would like to talk about different libraries that we use for working on with machine learning algorithms. Okay, so these are the 5 important libraries we use for working with machine learning algorithms: NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib, scikit-learn, and then Seaborn. Okay, so when I talk about NumPy, all of us know we have already worked in Python, right? So NumPy is basically used for, NumPy stands for numerical Python, and we use NumPy for working on with different array operations or numerical operations. Okay, so we have NumPy library which has abundant resources which are available with which we can work easily on n dimensional arrays and matrices in Python. Okay, and then when I talk about pandas, pandas is nothing but panel data library which is actually used for working on with the data set. Okay, so for machine, when you want to work on machine learning algorithms, we usually give the input in terms of a data set. Okay, so to read that data set and perform various operations on the data set like data pre-processing and etc., we use pandas library. Okay, so pandas used for data wrangling, designed for quick and easy access of data, manipulate data, visualize data, and etc. Next, apart from NumPy and pandas, we also use Matplotlib, which is basically the basic visualization library. Okay, so using Matplotlib, you can plot different graphs on the data, like you can plot line graph, bar graph, histogram, and then pie chart, etc. So that when you do visualization of uh, the data would be more interesting and easy to access. Okay, and then apart from Matplotlib, we also have advanced visualization library which is called Seaborn. Okay, so when you want to focus on the statistical models, where you want to depict the overall distribution of data statistically, then we go for Seaborn. Okay, so Matplotlib and Seaborn both are visualization libraries, where Seaborn has more features with which we can view the data more statistically. Okay, and then finally we have this most important library which is called as scikit-learn, which is the most important library wherein we can work with all the machine learning algorithms. The functions of all the machine learning algorithms are available in scikit-learn library. Okay, now let us discuss each library in detail. First, when I talk about NumPy, it's numerical Python, which is the most important popular Python library which we use for array and matrix processing with the help of large collection of array operations that are available into NumPy. Okay, so when I talk about NumPy, you can work on multi-dimensional arrays and matrices along with some fundamental operations on the arrays. Okay, so we can do array operations efficiently. We can work with mathematical functions, different linear algebra functions, because when we talk about machine learning algorithms, okay, so all the machine learning algorithms involves linear operations. Okay, so mathematical operations, so they can be solved by using your NumPy library. And for for performing different operations in the array, and then if you want to find the shape and size of the array, we also use NumPy. Okay, so when you want to handle different data types or different data arrays, okay, and to perform numerical computations, we use NumPy library. Okay, so as you can see here, to find the shape of the 1D array, 2D array, 3D array, and arrange them, rearrange the data, reshape each and every array. So different operations can be done using NumPy library. Okay, and then the second important library that we use is pandas. Okay, so pandas panel data is another important library which is basically used for data analysis. Okay, so directly the data set would not be taken for processing. Okay, so as we have seen in the earlier sessions, data pre-processing is one important task in machine learning, because if you take the raw data and give it to a model, okay, the model may not depict good results, or you may not get good accuracy for your model. Okay, so there might be inconsistent data or missing values in the data, because the data is basically raw and unstructured. Okay, so before we actually feed this data into the machine learning algorithm, we do this data pre-processing using pandas library. Okay, so we prepare the data. Okay, before we train the model, we prepare the data by using pandas library. Okay, now when I talk about pandas library, it provides data structures and wide variety of tools which we use for data analysis. Okay, so we have few inbuilt methods like filtering, combining, grouping data. Okay, there are different pre-processing steps that we sometimes your data set would be available in a CSV file, comma separated value file. Okay, so we have so many features based on which we predict the output. Sometimes the features may be irrelevant, so we drop down the features. Sometimes two or three features may be same, so we combine them. Okay, sometimes some row may have many missing values, we drop those rows. Okay, so we can drop the rows, we can drop the columns, integrate the data, remove the data, and pre-process that particular data in so many different steps. Okay, all this can be done using some inbuilt functions which are there in your pandas library. Okay, so pandas provides data structures for data analysis. Okay, it is particularly used when you work with unstructured data to make it into a structured data and work on data pre-processing. Okay, so the features of this pandas, we have data frames. Data frames are nothing but a two-dimensional tabular data structure like CSV files. Okay, so that data manipulation can be done. You can use different tools in pandas for time series analysis. Okay, so basically pandas is ideal for data pre-processing, cleaning and exploratory data analysis. Okay, so your data set would be available something like this. Okay, so these are different features and we can predict the output depending on features. You can perform different operations on this particular data using your pandas library. Okay, and then third important library that we use in machine learning for working on machine learning is matplotlib. Okay, so matplotlib is a Python library for data visualization. Okay, so like pandas, it is not directly related to machine learning. It is basically a generalized library which we use for finding the patterns in the data or visualizing the data for easy accessibility. Okay, so we use pyplot function in matplotlib for various plotting structures. Okay, so basically we use it for creating animations, visualizations with on the data. So we have line plots, we have bar plots, we have histograms, scatter plots, pie chart, etc. Okay, so you can even have, you also even have flexibility of customizing your plots. When I talk about line plot, you can also choose the thickness of the line, you can also choose the color of the line. When I say dot scatter plot, pointing x-axis and y-axis pointing using dots. Okay, so you can choose whether to put dot or a square symbol there or a star symbol there, and then you can also choose the broadness and you can also choose the color. Okay, customizations on the graphs also can be done using matplotlib. Okay, so when you work on NumPy, Pandas, and Matplotlib, you can integrate all these three modules, and then explore more visualizations on the data. Okay, so basically used for visualizing data and display the results of the machine learning models. Okay, so as you can see here, I am trying to plot something on x-axis and y-axis. Okay, for every month what is the income or revenue generated. So you can put x-axis, y-axis, and then you can have this option of choosing the colors, and then you can also add a legend saying blue color represents this, orange line represents this, what is there on x-axis, y-axis. You can also give titles and all that. Okay, so already we know what is matplotlib. I'm just giving a quick review on that. Okay, now this is the most important library when we talk about machine learning algorithms. Okay, so in the last session we have seen different types of machine learning systems, right? We have seen all the algorithms would be classified under either supervised learning, unsupervised learning, or reinforcement learning, right? So regression, classification, clustering, q-learning, so all these algorithms of machine learning are actually developed using this particular library which is called as scikit-learn, or in short we call it as sklearn library. Okay, so sklearn is one of the most important ML libraries for working with classical machine learning algorithms. Okay, so this supports most of the supervised, unsupervised, and in case reinforcement, not to most extent, but some part of reinforcement also can be done by using sklearn library. Okay, so it provides simple and efficient tools for data analysis for working on with different machine learning algorithms. Okay, we can implement various supervised and unsupervised machine learning algorithms like regression, classification, and clustering, which we were discussing in the last class. And then we can not just developing the model, we can also use sklearn for hyperparameter tuning for pre-processing. Using pandas, we said we do pre-processing, right? So train test split of data, as I told you in the last class, what is training data, what is test data. So splitting of training test data, performing data pre-processing. So all these things also can be done using sklearn. So basically sklearn is not just for classical ML functions, but also it can be used for different operations of different operations which we actually use when we work with machine learning algorithms. Okay, so pre-processing can be done, model selection can be done, algorithms can be directly used with respect to functions. Okay, so when I say sklearn, we use sklearn for building the algorithms or building machine learning models, evaluating machine learning models, and even for deploying machine learning models also we use sklearn library. Okay, and the last library that I want to talk about is seaborn. Okay, it is not mandate for us to use seaborn for machine learning. Okay, so only little matplotlib for machine learning is okay, but if you want to work on advanced data sets, or if you want to visualize your data in the data set with in detail, then we go for seaborn. For example, if suppose I want to go for breast cancer detection, okay, so there are so many features which will actually determine whether the person has breast cancer or not. Okay, so as non-medical students, we may not understand each and every parameter, or we may not understand if my output is actually dependent on this particular input or not. Let's say I have 10 input features, depending on which I want to find whether this particular output is dependent on all 10 features, or do I have to take only few important features. Okay, let's say we have only 5 important features which are actually used for predicting whether a person has breast cancer or not. I want to eliminate the remaining 5. Okay, so when you go for matplotlib, you have to plot x-axis and y-axis for each feature. That is, I have to go for 10 plots. First input with output, check the dependency. Second input and the output, check the dependency, and so on. Whereas when you use seaborn, when you work on seaborn, you have this correlation maps. Okay, so in what way each input, you can plot all these input features into x-axis, and then check the correlation between this particular input on the output with color codings. Okay, so if they are more relevant, more correlation between input and output, it would be darker in color. The less correlation dependency between input and output, it would be showing in a light color. Okay, we have so many other different operations that we can use in seaborn. Okay, seaborn is a Python visual library, a Python visualization library similar to matplotlib, but this provides high level interface for drawing attractive and informative statistical graph. Okay, not just the basic graph, but also you can draw attractive and informative statistical graphics. Okay, so when you're working with complex statistical plots, or when you're working with complex data, okay, then you can use seaborn for data distributions and finding the relations. Okay, so you have statistical plots, you can go for data visualizations, you can select different themes, you can select different color palettes. Okay, you can use white grid, dark grid, and then you can use sticks, different symbols, and you can use different color codings. Correlation matrices also can be plotted, as I told you. Okay, not just bar plots or anything, you can also go for box plots, violin plots, swarm plots. Different advanced plotting methods are available when you work with seaborn library. As you can see, these are this is basic matplotlib, where we have plotting of x-axis. As you can see, year versus yield. Okay, crop yields in Canto. So as you can see, which year has more yield or which year has less yield, and this is called legend. Okay, where blue represents this apple, orange represents oranges, and then as you can see, this is the sepal length and sepal width of a flower called iris flower, where it has setosa, virginica, versicolor, different classes. Okay, so this is a seaborn plot. As you can see, the relation between flight traffic every year and every month. Okay, so as you can see, the darker the plot, which says more related or more dependency on this particular input and output. As all of us know, the air traffic is increased day by day. So as you can see, in 1940s we have very less air traffic, so it is represented in light. As years are progressing, the flight traffic has been gradually increased. So this darker shade represents the traffic is more. Okay, this can be done by using your seaborn plottings. Okay, so as you can see in this, in each graph, again I can plot some subcategories. All these things can be done by using seaborn. Okay, so this is again heat matrix. Okay, correlation matrix, which can, this is a confusion matrix. Okay, so all these different advanced statistical, when you deal with complex data, we can use seaborn. Okay, so these are the 4 important libraries that we use when we usually work with machine learning algorithms: NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib, sklearn, and Seaborn. Matplotlib and sklearn for Matplotlib and Seaborn for visualizations, sklearn for obtaining the functions for classic machine learning algorithms, NumPy for numerical operations, and Pandas for reading and uploading the data set and for other data pre-processing operations. Thank you.